Hey folks, I'm Scott Steinberg, the head of business consulting firm Tech Savvy, also the author of business books like Becoming Essential and of course the Crowdfunding Bible. And on behalf of our friends at Innovate Mississippi, I want to personally welcome you to the 13th Annual Conference on Technology Innovation. Now, I'm sorry I couldn't be with you there today. Unfortunately, a teleporter, the best innovation of all for the holiday scheduling season. Nobody's invented that yet. But that said, crowdfunding, tremendously excited about the opportunity that it presents for businesses, brands, entrepreneurs, startups of all sizes, especially here in Mississippi. And the beauty of it is that anybody can suddenly get access to capital. Now, when we talk about crowdfunding right now, most people probably think about Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Rocket Hub. This is rewards-based crowdfunding, where you get merchandise or pre-orders, incentives, personal opportunities, once-in-a-lifetime occasions in exchange for the pledges or contributions that people make. But come 2013, when the SEC weighs in with rules and regulations here in the US, because you can already do it in Europe, but here in the States in 2013, you're going to be able to raise up to $1 million online through the sale of equity to everyday folks on the street. Now, the beauty of this is the opportunity that it creates, and it brings money flowing into the coffers of businesses of every size throughout America, especially small businesses who may not have access to that capital. And over 1 million campaigns were funded successfully last year. So even people who wouldn't consider themselves entrepreneurs can suddenly get in the game, can suddenly invent the product of their dreams, can suddenly build a brand, a startup, a service that brings positive change to the world, helps affect society for the better, or creates a must-see product or brand. So absolutely amazing opportunities. And the beauty is, come 2013, if you think it's big now, you are going to see an impending flood, a tidal wave of new sites, new services, and new business models for every industry, from technology startups to real estate to social entrepreneurship. So it doesn't matter what field you're in, crowdfunding is going to impact it in a major way. Now, it's worth noting, it's not going to be a silver bullet. So out of the 30,000 plus odd campaigns that were successfully funded on Kickstarter, only about 300 or so, roughly 1% if my math skills serve me right, we're actually raising over $100,000. So not necessarily going to raise cash on a grand scale, but you can still raise significant sums. Equity-based crowdfunding, actually the fastest growing category of crowdfunding at this point, something like 300% growth, and over 80% of campaigns were funded to the tune of over $25,000. So not too shabby. Definitely knocks down the doors of opportunity, democratizes investment, and it gives access to capital to people in need. Now, keep in mind, a crowdfunding campaign, it's not necessarily an online fundraising effort at heart. I actually equate it more to a consumer marketing campaign. You have to keep in mind that traditionally when you were pitching, you'd have just a few minutes to get in front of investors, maybe you knew some angels, some VCs, and when you presented to them, you had a detailed business plan, you had to make a quick elevator pitch, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, answer some questions, if you were lucky. See, the beauty now is suddenly anybody can access capital, but the trick, the hard part about it is you have literally just seconds to deliver that elevator pitch, and you have to create empathy, a connection, an urgency, a call to action. You have to not only connect with somebody who may be 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees removed even, who isn't necessarily considering themselves a sophisticated investor and may parse through thousands of possible opportunities or be confronted with so much competing information from other people. I mean, consumer expectation is rising. The number of companies, projects, brands that are competing for eyeballs and dollars, that's rising as well. So it's not necessarily going to be perfect for every project, every startup, but crowdfunding does present amazing opportunities. And if you can make that connection, if you can get somebody to empathize with you, if you can get their attention, if you can be singular and you can show that the action they take, donating funds or pledging funds, contributing to your cause, that can affect positive outcomes, create new products, brands, services, startups, well, that can be powerful. So think about this going forward. Understand that there are going to be pros and cons. You're going to hear more about that in the following presentation. But definitely crowdfunding, it's the right time to be talking about it. It's the right time to be getting involved. And if you're considering engaging in a crowdfunding campaign, then I encourage you, definitely look further into it. You can find out more from our friends here at Innovate Mississippi. So definitely stay tuned as we kick things off. I'm excited to hear more about crowdfunding and excited to hear how you're using it to fund your businesses and brands.